Hey everyone, it's your bear Huffy back at it again, and today I just want to talk a little bit about classic video games, or rather, how most of them are missing. So earlier today, today being July 10th, the Video Game History Foundation released a study claiming that 87% is missing. New study reveals most classic video games are completely unavailable. Now, I'll link to this article, the study itself, down below, as well as the explainer for how they conducted the study. But I just wanted to read through and talk about this with you guys for this video. So, the Video Game History Foundation, in partnership with the Software Preservation Network, has conducted the first ever study on the commercial availability of classic video games, and the results are bleak. 87% of classic video games released in the United States are critically endangered. Imagine if the only way to watch the Titanic was to find a used VHS tape and maintain your own vintage equipment so that you could still watch it. And what if no library, not even the Library of Congress, could do any better? They could keep and digitize that VHS of Titanic, but you'd have to go all the way there to watch it. It sounds crazy, but that's the reality we live in with video games, a $180 billion industry, while the games and their history disappear. Just 13% of video game history is being represented in the current marketplace. In fact, no period of video game history defined in this study even cracked 20% representation. Wow, nearly 9 in 10 classic games. Now I'm wondering, what exactly is their criteria for this? Which systems are they leaving any systems out? Is this everything? I guess they'll explain that in the study explained. For nearly 9 in 10 classic games, there are a few options. Seek out and maintain vintage collectible games and hardware. Travel across the country to visit a library, or piracy. None of those options are desirable, which means that most video games are inaccessible to all but the most diehard and dedicated fans. That's pretty grim. I don't know, like this would go along with just the whole physical media preservation debate versus digital for video games as well. I'm not sure if you guys are all digital or all physical or a mix in between. For myself, I'm like a mix in between, but I still maintain my Xbox 360 collection and I try to get physicals if they're available. This is where libraries and archives should come in. Anyone should be able to easily explore, research, and play classic video games in the same way that they can read classic novels, listen to classic albums, and watch classic movies. But outdated copyright laws are preventing institutions like ours from doing our jobs. Wow, that's a pretty grim graph, but it's kind of funny the way it looks like Pac Man there. So, their goal is to get expanded exemptions for libraries and organizations preserving video games, which are currently far more limited than their ability to preserve books, movies, audio, etc. So they're trying to basically do the same thing that I guess ROM sites do, but legally. That way, they're not at risk of being taken down because that's what most of those illegal ROM sites do anyway. There's always a risk they're going to get taken down. The video game industry's main lobbying group, which should be the ESA, I believe, right? Yeah, has successfully argued to the U.S. Copyright Office that the industry already does enough to preserve its own history commercially. And I think that's the key word there, commercially. And that additional protections for preservation institutions would hurt their bottom line. We proved them wrong. The industry has actually only managed to make 13% of its history available, and it's unlikely to get better. The argument that these games are commercially available is what's keeping video games behind in the preservation world. Okay, let's read our quick facts here. 87% of classic games are not in release and are considered critically endangered. Availability is low across every platform in the time period tracked in the study. Libraries and archives can digitally preserve but not digitally share video games and can provide on premise access only. Libraries and archives are allowed to digitally share other media types such as books, film, and audio, and are not restricted to on premise access. That's true. If you guys ever wanted to watch a movie or listen to an audiobook, you can actually do that digitally through some libraries, depending on your jurisdiction and the area you live in. The Entertainment Software Association the video game industry's lobbying group has consistently fought against expanding video game preservation within libraries and archives. The next rulemaking proceeding under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, DMCA, Title 17, Section 1201 of the United States Code is scheduled for 2024. Ooh, that's a big deal. We're hopeful that this study will incite change and that video game preservation will become stronger before we lose more. So that's the crew of what they're releasing this study for, right? They want to get the word out there about how software is in danger of being lost. And more rules can be changed when this is up in 2024 next year. So I also have the study explained here. So they're saying that games are being commercially re-released, and that's what we're getting nowadays with whole remasters, remakes, re-releases, HD, you know, HD remasters. But that's at a company choice. We're not getting everything. We're getting curated titles from each company just so they can sell it to us at an upcharge. Now you could argue like yeah, like if you're a fan that'd be a good thing, but it would also be great to just have them available. And I get that piracy is a concern as well, and I think they addressed that here, right? Yeah, it's true. It's often the easiest or the only way. The alternative is to spend hundreds or thousands on vintage games and specialty hardware, or to arrange for weeks of travel to visit a game collection in person. Those are unreasonable asks, I agree. It's no wonder that even academic researchers rely on abandonware sites to get access to old games. And I'm sure software as well. We're lucky that these aren't entirely lost to time yet, but we need to do better than that. So, my take on this is I agree. Outside, I'm sure they can still re release, higher fidelity, higher frame rate, or complete remakes, but the original should be remade. Or, I'm sorry, not remade. They should be available. The video game industry has only gone larger as time has gone on. It's 2023 now. The earliest video games date back to, I believe it was like the 60s, 70s, 80s, whenever Tetris came out, because that was the first one. And the population of people that play games has only grown larger and larger. So if someone wants to see, how things have progressed or they want to play a game, they should be able to. I agree with that. So hopefully, if you guys care enough about this, you can check out the article in the link below. Give these guys a little support, donate to them, see what else they have cooking to maybe try to lobby for this law to change. And I'm going to look up that DMCA law change next year as well, because hopefully they rework some copyright stuff for YouTube too, because this is all getting out of hand, guys. It's crazy. It's not just games, it's also movies, films, probably some music too. I literally just made a video about how I can't find 28 Days Later legally to watch anymore, which sucks because it's an excellent zombie movie and your bear really wants to watch it. And not enough to, go to some shady site or whatever. I'd rather not do that because I like my home theater setup and I'd rather watch it there. Okay, so they got some thoughts. Yeah, if you're interested in exactly how they conducted the study, what criteria they used, how they were able to gather their data, it's all here. So please give them a shout, give them a check. And yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about today, guys. Like, do you have any games that you want to play that aren't available anymore? Are you waiting on, I guess Nintendo's notorious for this, for them to release or sell another, one from their back catalog to be available to play in the Switch or just like in general? Please leave your thoughts down below. If you like the video or if you watch me streaming and you just caught on to this, please give a like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I want to do a little bit more content like this or the other videos I've been doing recently, trying to expand, maybe experiment a little bit. So, all right, guys, that's it for now. I ordered a pizza. It's here right beside me. I'm about to eat it. And I hope you guys have a good day. I'll catch you later. Huffy Bear out.